Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, a little bit of a different type of video here for you today. So instead of going into Football Manager itself, we're going to talk about a problem that we've been seeing. I watch a lot of Football Manager content. I love watching people on YouTube. I love going onto the forums. I love reading what people have been doing in their saves. I like looking at what the discussion's like. I try to contribute and participate as much as I can. And I've been noticing that there's a lot of people who are concerned in FM23 about the state of young players. So what's happening is people will get into their save like 10, 15 years into the future, and they'll notice that, you have a bunch of national teams that are filled up with no new gens. It's all just players who exist in real life who have the reputation, and the new gens just don't have enough reputation. They're not playing enough. They're not developing right. The computer manager seems not to know what to do with them. And it's a problem, right? I mean, because you want to play in a game that has another team or another country or whatever that has players that are well developed, so you can get good players to choose from. You want to make sure that there are like enough good goaltenders, there are enough defenders who can actually play at higher levels, and so on and so forth. And you might be thinking, well, what can we do about this? Some of the problems have been addressed by Sports Interactive in the recent update, but I don't know exactly how well addressed they've been and exactly what's going on with that. So my answer to this is always take a look at what the community is doing. Now, the Football Manager community does a lot of very, very good work, and I know that a lot of other content creators, especially big names on YouTube, don't really like to use a lot of this editor data stuff. I'm going to tell you that no matter who you are, even if, and I would say especially if you're a big name, you really should look into this stuff. So my man Dave INCID, who I absolutely love, I 100% recommend his editor files. His stuff is really, really, really good. He came out a while ago with this FM23 Increase Realism Megapack. He comes out with this every month. You should subscribe to him. You should actually pay him some money on Patreon. I'm a subscriber on Patreon, and I'm very, very proud of that fact. I love his work very, very much. My current save uses his pack. One of the reasons why is because you will see that he uses alternative youth rating. And he doesn't just talk about changing, like it says here, the importance of football to countries, but he's also changed around the awards in the game. This includes creating new awards and other things for young players to win, including some awards that don't really exist. This is done so that these players can have better reputations, so that good young players will stay with their host club, so that you can't just like barge in, get all the good players in your team, and then win everything. And also so that there's a better chance of the computer using these young players on national teams to make this, what he calls here, the age issue in clubs and national teams to work out. This is what you need. You need to be playing with it like this. This will fix your game, right? But the problem, of course, because it's an editor data file, is you have to you can only use this with a new save. If you already started a save in the beta and there was like this stuff wasn't around yet, it's kind of too bad. In the future, when it comes to Football Manager, I strongly recommend going a little bit slower, waiting a little bit, seeing what the problems are before you get into a really, really deep save so you can avoid problems like this. There are other things that he's helped fix as well, including different things about salary levels, sponsorships, a couple of attribute adjustments for players. More importantly, I think, is for managers. Look at this. To give more playing time to the younger players, as well as better apply the substitution rule. But yeah, give more playing time to younger players is absolutely what we want to do and we want to see. I was watching a certain YouTuber a while ago who discovered that on his new team there was like a 23-year-old player who was world class who hadn't played a single minute in like 2 years. I mean, that's a sign that there's a problem in Football Manager, right? When you realize that that's happening, you got to go with this sort of thing. You got to go with the realism pack so you can stay away from that. There's a bunch of other fixes, of course: finances, club reputation, ticket prices. I don't pay attention to this stuff so much, but it's good to have in there. Now, there are also fixes on geographics and languages. I will be honest with you, I am not 100% certain if these languages are correct. Many of you may remember Majestic Eternity, who was doing the same pack back in like FM21. The Majestic Eternity language pack had some major problems in China, especially Northeast China, which, as you can tell, I kind of have some expertise in. I think that the languages for the most part are okay here, but in my current save, I've been having a couple of issues with languages. I might actually look into that, see if I can help Dave out a little bit. However, these fixes are very, very important. It's important to make sure that languages and stuff like that are as realistic as possible, so it helps you out with your immersion. And there are fixes here for citizenship, fixes for weather, which are very important. Here, there's a little bit of higher temperatures that are possible. I actually use a different weather fix as well that helps out with some places like different parts of China that other things in the game might not represent entirely realistically. He did create a new league file for China. Unfortunately, I can't use that in my current save. That's because I'm using a league file that was created and put on the Steam Workshop that is in the basic rules editor instead of the advanced rules editor. I think that's what the problem was. I tried putting the two together and it would have required me to like redo one of them completely. And I just said, screw it, whatever. I'm just going to use this one. Sorry, Dave, I'm not going to use your China League file. However, I do know that this China League file will make it so that better transfer fees are being paid, which is a problem that I am seeing currently in my database right now, that the other Chinese clubs are not buying the European players they really should be buying. Now, whether that's realistic or not is another question, and we could probably talk in a completely different video as to what model the Chinese league really should follow. I know that the sort of xenophobic model is not one that people really respect that much, but in my personal opinion, if China doesn't want to look like the old NASL and just have a whole bunch of, older players that were once popular in Europe who are making a bajillion, renminbi and nobody else can get any game time, if they want to avoid that, then yeah, they're probably going to have to be a little bit more xenophobic. Anyway, this is what you should look for. It is 100% free. You can go on here. I'm on FM Scout. It's easy to find. This is the one that was updated most recently in March. If you go, you become a patron of his. You can get it a little bit earlier if you want to see like the newest stuff and the newest fixes. I say go join him on Patreon anyway because he does a really good job and we should support our creators. Absolutely. Guys who do stuff like this, I use this all the time. I couldn't play this game without Dave INCID's changes and without his add-ons. So once again, I mean, if you're not using this right now, you need to start using it. And not just for FM23. I'm talking like FM24, FM25, and so on. Sports Interactive really should hire this guy because he knows what is wrong with the game and he can fix it. And Sports Interactive keeps breaking it. That's my opinion. That's what I think. Let me know what you think. Talk to you later. Bye.